When somebody says something to you and that you end up getting really pissed off, that's natural. But it also is saying to you that the energy from that other person went inside of you. Because if you feel angry, then it's inside of you. Yeah? So now you have to get it out. And it's okay, yeah, that's fine. That's not a problem. Okay? That's like I said, that's natural. So as a result, there's a natural way to get rid of it too. What I'm going to say is just a foundation, and other people may have their own little twist and turn kind of ideas to add on to this, which is cool. Yeah, that's totally fine. Whatever works. Yeah, but the foundation principle here is that you got to get that energy out. And so in the beginning, it's okay to say whatever you have to say, and even your thoughts. It's okay to think whatever, even if it's you're visualizing a satellite falling on that person or whatever. It's fine. It's just a thought, and it has to come out. Yeah, it's just a thought. It doesn't mean anything until you do something with it. Okay, so you let it come out and then let it go. When you focus on it, then you have a problem. So you just let it out, but don't do it in a way to hurt anybody, including the person who pissed you off. Because if you do, then the danger here is that it's going to be received as unhealthy, and then that's going to multiply. And that's going to make the problem worse. So it's important to do this away from the person who sent it to you. So this way, it's just energy that comes out. But if you do it to the person, that energy is going to be received as communication. And that means it's going to return to you 4 times as strong. You see what I mean? So that's why I said it's better to do this away from that person. So this way, all you're doing is you're flushing your system. Okay? And so, like I said, it's okay to express your anger and say what you have to say, think, whatever. All that has to come up. A really good place to start, and it's not the only place, okay? Everybody's different, but a really good place to start would be in the physical, because remember, you have 4 parts to the self: your physical body, your mind, your emotional self, and your soul. Yeah. So a good place to start would be your body, but you could start in any other one. It doesn't matter. But the body is important because it has to come out. Your body's never going to forget, so it's important to get it out. So that's why you can do something like really a vigorous activity that's not hurting anybody, whether it's punching a punching bag or chopping wood or going for a really hard run. And then when you do all that, and then go into a sauna or take a hot bath and relax. And after you cool down, see, you're getting it out of your physical. And remember, that's connected to your spiritual, your mental, and your emotional. So that's going to put it in motion for those 3 parts to also want to push it out. So your physical activity is helping the other 3 parts to push it out too. Then after this, you bring in your mind and you remind yourself of the important things in your life, your health, whatever you can do, and the people who are important to you. And then with one of these people, or maybe with several of them, you can create something together using your talent, whatever it is. Like cooking something or making something. Maybe you're good at woodwork, so you say, hey, let's make a bench, yeah, or something, whatever. And then have fun doing that. So now you're working with somebody. That person is helping you to heal by helping you, because it's healthy communication that both of you are sharing. It's going back and forth. Every time it makes a round, it grows times 4. So this is really putting the healing at work, and it's also blessing the person who's helping you. So now you're getting close to cleansing, and then maybe you might talk with somebody, or maybe the same person, you just talk, because that's also getting it out. So when you do it like this, now you're treating it like a difficulty, which means you're going to learn from it. You're going to examine it from all perspectives that you can think of. And it's good to have somebody with you because they might see something you don't see. And that's going to help you. And so as you're doing this, you're transforming the whole experience into a blessing. Meanwhile, that other person is still pissed, but that's their problem. You've done your part. You got the energy out. You flushed yourself. Yeah, now you're all right. And that other person, you don't have anger anymore. Yeah, see, remember what I said? This is like dealing with a difficulty. In dealing with the difficulty, you're getting rid of the emotional attachment by learning from it, coming to peace with it. You gain knowledge and wisdom from this, like I said earlier. You let go. Yeah, all this activity is helping you to do that, and so it doesn't bother you anymore. So you see that person the next day, and they're still trying to get on your nerves, but then you've dealt with it. So whatever they say, it doesn't even do anything. They don't even have to say anything, because sometimes these kind of people are so mad that it doesn't matter what you say; they're going to attack it. You might be real honest with them and say, look, that's whatever, and then they're going to try to find fault with it. Yeah. So you think you're better than me? You're like they want to hurt you. So in some extreme cases like this, the best thing to do is just let them be, because this way you're not feeding it. Because even if you say something wise to that person, they can't comprehend it. They're stuck in the duality. And that means they cannot comprehend the totality of reality. Gee, I like rhyming these words. Yeah, duality, totality. Yeah, they can't comprehend it. So sometimes the best thing to do is just to not say anything. And that's showing compassion to them. You're not giving them any food to increase their duality. That might get them angry more, but it also is drawing them closer to clarity. Maybe it's just a baby step. Maybe it's 1 millimeter, but it's still closer than it was before. You see what I mean? You're being compassionate. And then you let it go. Don't be talking about that person, because if you keep talking about that person, you're still in it. But if you really have let it go, you have better things to talk about. You have more important things to talk about, more important things to do. But if you keep talking about that person, that means you haven't learned. That means you're still in it. You're still in that abusive relationship, interaction, whatever. You're still in it. You're caught. Because if you're really at peace with something, you will have no desire to talk about it. Because it's over for you. You've come to peace with it. Like I said, this will depend on what kind of communication it is. How serious was it? Was it life-threatening? Then you need to get the hell out of there. That's being brave. They may see it as being a coward, but how do they know when they can't see reality? They don't even know what bravery means. That means they don't know what cowardice means either, because they're not thinking with a clear mind. And when you are, then you know it's best to just let them be. This is the foundation in dealing with these kind of things. And you just adapt that accordingly concerning whatever it was that happened, or whatever it was that was said, whatever it was that was spoken. And then the one thing I always recommend to my group, I have a cult, yeah. I call them my group. No, I'm just kidding. Dave's cult. Cola Dave's cult. Shoot. No. I work with people like this. I always advise them to have a medicine wheel with them all the time, and to take that out and to think of the things that it reminds them of. And like when going through a process like what I just explained, is to use this medicine wheel and to, think of that part, like starting with the physical, then later bringing in the mind, and then looking at the experience and learning from it. That causes the emotional part to develop, and this brings peace to the soul. So you see all four parts in front of you represented in that medicine wheel. By going through that process, it's like you're going around the wheel, and it's life. This is the way to live. So I always advise those who I work with to do that. If you don't have one, you can make one. It doesn't have to be exactly porcupine quills and, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you have the image. That is what's important. So you can get a piece of leather, cut it out like that, paint it. Even if it's just paper, that's still something. As long as you have a representation of it and you carry that with you all the time, that means everything. That represents so many things. And you can use that in healing from things like this. And this is going to help with your self-esteem. This is going to help with your everything. The one other thing, too, is that if you're the one who's sending the attack, I really feel sorry for you, because you are giving all your power away to the person you're attacking. You wake up and your first thought is hurting that person. All day long you think of hurting that person. Whenever you go to bed, you keep thinking of the many ways you can hurt that person. You've just spent your whole waking hours giving all your time to that other person. You have no power. You are not strong. You are not a warrior. Yeah, you are an abuser. Yeah, and this is not healthy. Absolutely not. And also, if you think of revenge, you can feel that in the beginning, but like I said, you got to bring your mind in to remind you of what's important. It's okay to feel that for a little bit, because that emotion, energy needs to come out. So it's okay to think it, just don't hang on to the thought. Just let it out, and then let it go. Then let your mind come in. See, you need to work with your mind and your heart together. And something like this, a lot of times it starts with the heart. But then you bring in your mind, and then they start working together. As you're creating something with somebody you love, it doesn't have to be romantic love, familial love, friendship love. You make something together, and you're learning from the experience, and you're developing emotionally, and this is going to bring peace to your soul. But if you don't bring in your mind, you will most likely stay in the revenge way of thinking, and now you are giving your power to that other person. So both of you are giving your powers to the other person. Two cowards trying to out-tough each other. So that's why I said this is why your mind must come into the process after letting out those initial thoughts. Even if those thoughts are violent, they need to come out. You're not going to hang on to them, but they need to push them out. You don't say, "Oh, I'm not going to think like that." No. If you try to repress it, you still have it. That's why it's okay to think it, so it comes out. It's just a thought, and then you let it go. Then bring in your mind. So if you're the one that's attacking somebody, you live a sad life, because you have no power whatsoever, and you're giving it away. The more that you hate, the more you give your power away. And it's going to come back to you and kick you in the ever-loving ass. That's a 100% guarantee, because that's natural law. What you send out comes back to you 4 times as strong. This is natural law. This is wawokia. So if it's healthy, it comes back to bless you. It always depends on what it is you're sending out.